Be back at 1. An early and long lunch.
All right, well, Jerry.
Hi, Snivels. Take a wild guess, Dave, if this Brady violation became a mistrial. Yes, this is prosecutorial misconduct. Remember, take aside that this file has been in the possession of the district attorney's office for years, and they didn't say, okay, let's make it okay that they didn't realize until recently, oh, this is Gaithers, whoopsie. They have a court order from the judge, this judge, before you call the witness, every piece of evidence you are trying to enter through this witness, you have to disclose to the defense. Even if it is in discovery, you have to identify it. And they didn't. They violated a direct court order. And in my opinion, Brady violation.
Your Honor?
You're just going to put it back in the condition it was in just a minute ago and then permit them to look at it?
Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Before we ask Investigator Gaither any questions, I would ask the court to inquire of the state when they received this file and how they received this file, because we're completely in the blind.
Okay.
We went over to the Atlanta Police Department.
When?
Yeah. Remember, this is the file the prosecution in front of Judge Glanville said, we don't have it. And now, since they made a sudden realization, oh, we sent it in discovery in 2022. That doesn't matter. This discovery is terabyte after terabyte after terabyte long. Big. She has to identify to the defense what piece of evidence they're going to use.
Obviously,
Is your mic on?
Yes, Nivels. Orders are really just suggestions for Love that she can ignore, and she ignored it
just
again.
before we served, I think we called it complete case files from Operation Planners incident. This is where we got this one, the other ones that were included in that discovery tranche from the Atlanta Police Department. That's where they came from. The one titled Complete Case Files of 2015 Operation Planners. If the court will allow me, I will ask our legal assistants to give me the date that we served the file called Complete Case Files of Operation Planners.
Okay, and so the contents of that file were served whenever that was?
Yes.
All right, what led you to suddenly ask Detective Gaither if this was her file?
As I was looking through for a particular number, I was trying to find both that photograph where Mr. Zachary had signed a.
So here she discloses that she is trying the case. She's finding evidence as she goes along. She has no plan whatsoever going forward. No plan. And this is pure incompetence. Pure incompetence.
515 Nard on the Brownsville Road photograph. So I was looking for that. And I was just looking through everything that we had. And in looking through it, because I knew I'd seen it somewhere, I found it in this particular file folder. And looking at it, I initially I'll show the court what I was about to show.
Well, why don't you put it back together? And I know we're asking you to do several things at once. So how about put it back together and then you can finish your answer.
Hold this. The one that is called Operation Planners Complete Case File. That's what this is.
Yeah, so this is,
Yeah. Okay, now you can finish your answer as to why this suddenly seemed like it might be Sergeant Gaithers' file.
yeah. I and it might be true that Miss Love didn't realize it until someday recently. I don't care. It does not matter. You have a responsibility, a candor to court, under court order, to hand things over, to identify the evidence file you are planning to use. And she didn't do that in violation of a direct court order again.
Just pull up discovery. And I'm pulling up as well the discovery that has been served.
It doesn't matter if you
Let
serve
somebody
it in
else do that.
discovery.
Okay, someone else is pulling up. So anyway, Your Honor, as I said, I was in trying to, when we were getting ready for Mr. Zachary, actually, I think it may have been another witness, Mr. Murphy.
So she has known about the missing file since Murphy? That's a long ass time. That's deliberate. You deliberately hid from the defense that you found Miss Gaithers or parts of Miss Gaithers' report.
But I remember seeing somebody's handwriting on a picture of someone at the Browns Mill Road gas station, the Citgo. So as I was looking for that, I started looking for, I said, I remember somebody's signature being on it. I don't remember if I thought it was Mr. Zachary or whomever. In either event, I found this particular, the one that we've entered as, anyway, the one that Mr. Zachary signed. On 8/5/15. I found that and pulled it out and just started looking at it. I didn't know whose file it was. And in fact, I sent a text message to Detective Dennis on a particular date, asking him, whose writing is this, on Thursday of last week. And it was a portion of this file that contained a report about Demise McMullen and a kidnapping. And it had Demise Nard McMullins. So I asked Dennis, whose writing is this? And let's see, I don't see where he wrote me back. But while I was in the back just now, I asked Sergeant Gaither, whose writing is this? And she said, I think I asked her in the, like, whose writing is this? And I don't remember whether she said it was hers or Dennis's, but I asked her if this looks like her file. And she said, that looks like my file, what's in it? And I said, here. And I showed her what was in it, the stuff that they were looking at, that I was looking at. And she said, it looks like my file. And so I came out here and that's what I asked her. I asked her, did she see that? Did I show her did she see it? Does it look like her file? And she's answered the way that the court is aware. And we're looking at the discovery that we served, and Mr. Atkins is telling me that we served that in 2022. So I was, well, wait, we're confirming. I'll take that back. We're confirming when it was served. But I know that we provided this information because after I saw that, I went and looked up.
When were the discussions about whether Sergeant Gaithers' file existed or was destroyed in the hack or whatever? When did those occur? Before or after that discovery was served?
After.
I think after, but yeah, but I don't think, I know for a fact that this, whatever was discussed, like when I looked through that file, I don't see in that file either anything that was like
Actually
the copy.
indicates that it's, I mean, I didn't either in my quick cursory review of it. In fact, there are some reports from other investigators and I don't see any handwritten notes or anything like that. But I mean, I guess, did you recall at this time that what everybody previously thought was that Sergeant Gaithers' file no longer existed?
Did she recall or did I recall?
Did you recall when you went and asked her, hey, is this your file?
No,
You didn't remember that? Did you remember that? I mean, when she was like, yeah, that might be my file, were you like, huh, so it actually exists after all? Or were you like, not even remembering that it didn't exist?
No, I remembered when they were asking her questions about interviews or certain parts, certain things within that she said were within her file. And I didn't see, that's not in what I have. I've never seen that. So I cannot say, no, I didn't say, oh, this now exists because nothing that she said didn't exist.
Miss Love, you have at least 4 more DAs to your help. The fact that you can assert that you didn't realize it, well, Jesus Christ, you have had at least 4 more full-time assistant district attorneys going through this, or should have. Your assertions means nothing because you should have known that this file existed all along. And when I say you, I mean the entirety of the district attorney's office.
It's in there still.
Correct. I didn't see anything.
Y'all, if you want to take a look at it, and if I'll let you ask Sergeant Gaither whatever you want to about it, or if there's still things missing from it. I'm sure that, this is obviously a hard copy paper file, and I imagine in this day and age, people don't download everything from the computer, and maybe she had an electronic file also, and that's what you meant, but y'all can find out.
no.
Can I
She meant-
just clarify the record a little bit?
Yeah.
And I would very much like to look at that file. Last time, and I believe it was last time, I can't recall how many times Investigator Gaither has testified, but I'm going to say last time. She took the stand. There were specific things that she said she did, and they were not in the reports given to us. I'm aware that the state gave us electronic copies of certain documents in
Right.
2022. No one's disputing that. She claimed that, well, I did do that and I did document it. I wrote reports.
Right.
And I said, well, where are the reports? Because we had discovery and it didn't have any of these reports pertaining to the work she claimed she did. And so then we talked to Judge Glanville about it, and Judge Glanville kind of summarily attributed it to the hack, which I didn't.
Yeah, I know Catnot Williams has issues with her power. She should get a generator. I have a diesel generator. Now, I haven't had a power out for over a year. So I have what's the capacity? It is I can gas it up with 50 liters of diesel. What's that in gallons? 12 gallons, something like that. She should have one of those. Well, you just had a hurricane, so it's probably hard to get a hold of those, and gas. But yeah. So if she goes, she should have. I'm not saying she should or shouldn't, but maybe, just maybe, she could ask for one Amazon wish list for. I don't know if they sell it at Amazon. a 12-gallon diesel generator.
Necessarily agree with, but he also told the state, you need to go to APD and make due diligence, your best to find this file. Everyone was looking for this file. And then apparently the state obtained this file and never reported back to the court or to defense counsel, hey, this file that everyone was looking for, last time Investigator Gaither testified, we found it. This is what's in it. Here you go. Because my understanding, I haven't looked at it, but other people on the team have, the new discovery that was served does not contain that amount of information from the file. That I'm looking at how thick that file is. There's like one police report in the new tranche of information that they're claiming they served after the file. But at no point did anyone from the state tell anyone on the defense, to my knowledge, at least to me, hey, remember that file that you guys were asking about and Judge Glanville instructed us to go find? We actually went and we found this file. And I just don't know how that happens, that we're learning that this missing file has apparently been discovered. I guess we're going to review it to see. I don't know how we learn about that in the middle of direct testimony. That's just tough for me to reconcile with everyone being above board.
And Ms. Love,
Your Honor, I'm reviewing the discovery, actually.
we don't care
that was
about
served.
discovery.
Discovery,
We
1 of 3. What was this?
we don't care if it was hidden in 7 terabytes of documents. We know that. That is why you have a court order to identify and tell the defense this is the piece of evidence we want to bring in with this witness. It's so infuriating.
Anybody from the defense that wants to go ahead and take this file and look at it, you're welcome to.
And just for the record,
Sir,
I've been informed April 29th was when Gaither, Sergeant Lieutenant Gaither testified previously.
April 29th of this year. Okay. All
Eight-
right. Go ahead.
8/2/22 is the date that those items were served in discovery. Is it 2?
And by those items, you mean
What's in that?
the contents of this brown paper file that's about 1.5 inches thick. Is that what you mean?
Yes, that's what I'm looking at now, and I'm looking through.
Okay.
This is what has been
And
pulled
so
up.
it's,
So-
I mean,
Yeah. The electronic content might be in discovery. That piece, that file, was not identified as Detective Gaithers until now. This is big difference.
y'all can,
And so I cannot speak to, I can't speak to anything regarding the stuff that was asked about that didn't exist because, one, I don't see it, I don't have it, and
all right, why don't both sides either confirm if you can or otherwise, whether the contents of that file, whether labeled at the time as belonging to Sergeant Gaither or not, were served back in 2022.
it appears that
Can I ask again for the date of service of that?
it looks like we served one, the date that I just gave, we served August, what was the other one? The first one, August,
She said 8/2/22.
and 7/11/22 as well. That's what I'm looking at.
And can I ask one more question? Do you know where in the consolidated discovery?
Mhm.
I felt like I-
At 3236, there's 3 PDFs. It's a discovery. It's like 600 pages of PDFs. You can buy them all. My spidey sense, I haven't physically looked at that today. I'm pretty positive those 3 PDFs are those documents. Because that's not a new file. That's like the same file that created that discovery back in July.
Where we get in the consolidated?
At 3236?
30 through 36.
Correct. And it should say discovery 1 through 2. And discovery 1 is July 11, 2022. That's what I think that is.
So it may be that the only thing that's new is that
Only thing.
it now maybe realized that this is actually whatever part of Detective Gaither's file still exists.
They arrested these guys in May of 2022. The prosecution said they were ready for trial in December of 2022. It does not matter when they realize something in their own files. Oh, this was Gaithers. That should have been known and done and clear in December of 2022. It wasn't. And Jesus.
I mean, it's my understanding from what Ms. Love has said that it's new to her as well as of
Don't
today.
care.
We had the red files. We scanned red
That
files.
it belong, that it
Oh,
be
yes,
Detective Gaithers.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Yes,
yes.
that I didn't know.
I know. Okay. And I mean, I'm just going to offer again
Every damn
with
day.
the,
Yeah. Postman
Ms.
Thunder.
Love,
Every
maybe
damn
when you talked
day.
to her outside, she said, whatever she said to indicate, yeah, that might be my file, that you come in and you say to your opposing counsel, hey, you know what? The file of Detective Gaithers that we thought was entirely gone. Well, you know what? Apparently a part of it is this portion that we sent you 2 years ago. You know, I mean, it just
I
would
do
make things
understand, but
easier.
I just want to make clear that this is not something that was, we tried to conceal from anybody, given we served
I
this.
understand, obviously, if they confirm that they already have the contents, that's not necessarily up for debate. It's just that the knowledge that it's Sergeant Gaithers is new. And when you learn it, it'd be nice to share it with the other people.
And yes, Your Honor, I understand what the court is saying, but I do also remember when when questions were put upon this witness about the items that she had in her file, no one brought to her the discovery that they already had and said, is this what was in your file?
Apparently nobody knew where this came from.
They knew that this was Detective Gaithers, that this was Sergeant Gaithers' investigation. So I don't.
The stuff you were questioning her about was not in the discovery. She was claiming she did.
Is it-
That was not provided.
And okay, and it may still not exist. And we all know, I can't remember the dates of the hack, but we all know because we practice in Fulton County that there was some gigantic, what we call hack of.
Yeah, that convenient hack. Yes, I know. Thank you for being here from Kat, not Williams. And I completely understand that you prefer her over me. I mean, I do. We are different types. There is a streamer for everyone. Kat Not Williams has a huge audience, and she just hit 25,000 subscribers, which is amazing. And I'm honestly really, really glad for her, because I remember when she had maybe a few hundred views in total for an entire stream, and now she's doing amazing, and I'm so happy for her. Yeah, she's definitely prettier than me. Yeah, so when she comes back online, I don't mind if you go back there. I mean, she will be here on Friday, hopefully, on the panel show. And the panel show, by the way, will have an Oktoberfest theme. Just saying. So it will be fun. But let's get back to this faster clock.
The whole city and APD legitimately lost a whole lot of files that were never able to be recovered. So, I mean, that's just a fact.
But we have a paper file, Your Honor.
I see that.
And the hack does not affect paper files.
I understand that.
And Investigator Gaither specifically testified that she wrote reports for certain things. They were in her file that has now been lost.
Okay,
Now,
and
so
you
if-
can ask her when she said that, what did she mean? Because like I just said, I mean, all of us in this day and age.
No. Detective Gaither said she left this in a file cabinet. And then, since then, the prosecution says we can't find it. And we can't find the electronic copy. It must have been lost in the hack, and we can find the original. Or the paperback, or whatever it's called. Complete misrepresentation. And it should have never been allowed in at all. If the assertion from the prosecution is that we can't find these witness reports, then she should never have been allowed to testify. I don't care if it's a hack. I don't care.
Have things we print out and things we just keep on a an electronic file that only exists in the, wherever it exists, in the
Yes, I will
cloud.
cover the
And
And we
rest
never
of the
print
day.
it.
And Your Honor, I have also talked to Sergeant Gaither about not what she told them, but in previous, looking at previous information, having reviewed information that I know for a fact she kept on a terabyte drive. I asked, where is that? And she has told me in the past that the terabyte drive where she had all of her information about all her cases was connected to her desktop computer at the time that the hack occurred. So I don't have access to it. She didn't have it.
What a blatant misrepresentation. Well, she might have, but she still left the paper copies in that file cabinet, which you claim you couldn't find. And now we know either you're incompetent or a liar, Ms. Love. Or both. Probably both. Because apparently her paperwork has been around all the time.
Access to it. I know that just from talking about other cases.
Okay.
So I didn't ask her specifically about this one, whether this was on that terabyte drive, because those weren't the questions that I put on her. Those were questions posed to her by counsel for each of the defendants. Like, where is this? And
Okay.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
also when it's time for your honorable court to rule, just so we don't waste time with the jury, the question is, let me show you something from your file.
Mhm.
And I'm going to object because even though it's potentially sounds like in Sergeant Gaither's file, retired Sergeant Gaither's file, it is hearsay. It sounds like, and I have not looked at, there were a lot of people looking at the files, but it sounds like it's somebody else's information that somehow got into someone else's report on a phone number of Mr. McMullen. So based upon that, that's going to be my objection. That's how this whole question began. So I just want to give you a heads up.
Okay, and honestly, what it was a question about a phone number, but what was the question going to be?
it was going to be after she talked to Quindarius Zachary, did she attempt to locate or did she have the kidnapping file?
Right.
Was she able to locate a phone number for Demise McMullen?
Okay.
And I still don't know whose handwriting that is on the phone number information, but it was just going to be what was the phone number.
Okay, well, could she locate what is fine? What it was would be, I don't know why we have that echo all of a sudden. Would,
We're good.
Here's-
I think we had one of them. And so initially what I was asking, because the number, it has already come out, that is the number, I think on cross-examination, Mr. Steele asked Mr. Sprinkle, did he find communication between Demise McMullen and Kenneth Copeland is the best I remember? I don't remember, but he specifically asked, did you see calls between Demise McMullen and somebody else? And I came back and said, what number is it that you have for Demise McMullen? Mr. Sprinkle gave 404, that number.
that he thought was it, but he wasn't certain. Yeah.
No, he actually said this is the number. He didn't.
Okay.
Yes. And so all that I was doing with Sergeant Gaither is asking her, was that, and I started to ask the number because it was already,
Ask her if she found the number, but
that's literally
what the number was is subject to a valid hearsay objection. So you can't ask what the number was.
okay.
How much longer do you expect to have with?
That was literally the last question.
Okay.
Bull crap. Bull crap. You don't end with, do you recognize this phone number? That's not an end of a direct examination. She ended there. She now claims it's the last. Oh, that was my final question. The only reason she does that is she might realize I might screw this up even further. So I don't want to. She treads the line, she violates the line, she jumps on the line, she shoots at the line. And when the judge says, naughty, naughty, she steps back.
We can talk about it during the non-jury days we're going to have, but we've got to.
Yeah, we definitely had non-jury days between now And when she claims she came to this realization with Murphy, seriously, this is so bad.
Streamline this case some more. This is, you're just going to have to figure out a faster way to get to what it is that you want from each witness. I mean, in federal court, you know.
Yes. You know, Judge, you have every right to say, Ms. Love, this has been drawn out for 140 days. You now have a maximum of 60 days, trial days, to conclude your case in chief. She's in full right. And 60 days should have been the entirety of this trial during Christmas break, with a Christmas break.
They might just say, you got an hour with this witness. And
Do they limit both
We will-
sides to cross and
talk
state?
about,
Oh, go screw yourself, Miss Love. Go screw yourself. This is not on the defense. This is on you. You whining piece of barely human garbage.
we'll talk about the witness list next week.
And Your Honor, yes, I understand.
Oh, yeah, we'll be done by 10 with this witness, and we haven't even gotten across yet. After having her all day yesterday,
She was here Monday, Judge.
whenever it was.
Monday was 2 days ago. She waited all day and did not testify.
Well, that's not the issue. The issue is how long she's on the stand testifying and how long every witness is on the stand testifying and how many witnesses there are in this case. It's just a lot.
Read the room.
Your
Ms.
Honor, do
Love.
the federal, are both sides restricted to an amount of time?
Well, I mean, I would imagine that it's not like they let one side go on forever, but the other side only gets 10 minutes.
And given that the state does have the burden of proof, Your Honor.
I understand that, which is why I haven't done it yet.